Welcome back, everyone. Better tech tips now. A viral attack by a system known as ransomware shuts off computers and online data for days until, of course, you pay the ransom.
Ransomware infects your system and encrypts your files until a third party pays enough to unlock them. Stan Prager from GoGeeks here now to explain what this all means and hopefully how we can avoid it.
So I've talked about ransomware before on the show.
And we should note, I said when you pay off the ransom, it restores your computer. You're dealing with criminals, so that doesn't necessarily guarantee anything.
There is no guarantee, and there are certainly cases where people did not get their data unencrypted, but in most cases it works. They'll send the key because obviously they want to encourage people to pay in the future. So if word spreads,
that
they're
is
not
true.
going to do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like killing the hostage, right? So that's more or less. Your data is the hostage, all right? In this particular case, most recently, what was particularly nefarious about it was that an entire municipality was shut down. Atlanta. Right? One of the biggest cities in the country. 5 days, you could not do anything online with their municipal system. You couldn't pay a ticket. You couldn't get your car registered. You couldn't do anything. Every computer was down in the entire city for 5 days.
Did they pay the ransom?
They did, $51,000. And then they got it unencrypted.
Wow.
It actually sounds like a small price for a large
Atlanta,
city, but
right.
they did pay it. But I mean, I've told you that
it's taxpayers' dollars.
It's taxpayers' dollars, yes,
true.
yeah. And it's, I mean, I've told you at GoGeeks we've had clients get hit really heavily. We had one business, small business, pay up to $13,000 on a second hit by this. So it can happen to anybody. And you know, a lot of people think, well, it's only a big business. Like Boeing got hit a couple of days ago, all right, with a variant of what they call the WannaCry. What a great name, huh? WannaCry.
Yeah, the name says it all.
But basically what happens, for those people who are unfamiliar with it, what happens with ransomware is you open an attachment or click on a link or what have you. It's usually through an attachment, and nothing happens. And you think, oh boy, you know, big deal, whatever.
Forget about
my
it,
life.
probably,
Exactly. And then it, more or less a clock begins ticking behind the scenes. It begins encrypting all of your documents, pictures, music, everything on your system.
Can you stop it at that point? Once you download it, it's too late?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to shut your computer off at that moment and get it into a computer place like GoGeeks or somewhere else if you knew what was happening. But nobody knows, like, when it happens, what has happened, okay? Because there's no, it doesn't say, hi, we're infecting you. So it's kind of like when you catch the flu. There's no sign that goes, by the way, in a couple of days, you're going to be really sick, right? So, so that's what happens. But once it encrypts your files, something will come up on the screen and say, it's locked, you can't do anything to your computer until you pay. And then if you pay using Bitcoin is what they usually require, cryptocurrency, to try to preserve anonymity. Bitcoin is not entirely untraceable, but it makes tracing it very, very difficult.
Is this mainly through email that people are getting these attachments?
Primarily, yes. Primarily it's coming in through email, and usually it looks something official. Your package is lost is one of the big ones, okay? And this is why businesses will fall for, or it just might say, here's your shipping information on your FedEx or your UPS package. And if you use FedEx and UPS on a regular basis, as many businesses do, this doesn't seem that surprising, except that UPS or FedEx is not going to send you an attachment. Okay, but people don't think that. So often, you know, basically a person at the front end will open this. It'll be an admin. It'll be a security person. It'll be somebody who is not really thinking much about it and maybe isn't involved in the decision-making fashion. They're just kind of sorting through the mail as they go.
And just quickly, is it possible that it would get stopped by your firewall, or would you have some type of security program that would catch it, or it's just impervious to that?
It can. And that's why I always recommend the better security you have. You know, if you have Viper, you have a really good antivirus software, there's a good chance that it can catch it, but not always, because again, the criminals are always trying to stay one step ahead. So it's just something you really want to be very careful about. Back up your data. That's the most important thing. So if something like this happens, you're not held hostage because you've got your data somewhere else. If it's been encrypted and you don't have a copy of it anywhere, you're in big trouble and you can't do anything about it.
I want to cry. Is that what it's called?
That's what want to cry. You do want to cry.
You will be crying if this happens.
You'll be crying, yes, exactly.
But it's good to see you.
Good to see you. Have a nice weekend.
You as well.
Thank you, Stan.